Hi everyone! I just finished this book, Dark Challenge by Kristin Feehan. And I have to say, this book redeemed. It redeemed its series. So we get introduced to the other twin, Julian Savage, which is Aiden's twin brother. I don't know which one is older or younger, but they just say they're twin. It just says they're twins. And we get introduced to his life mate, Desiree, which that's what I'm pronouncing and what I started pronouncing her name as. It's Desari. And yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and Julian redeemed the Savage name because, yes, at first he is like an arrogant bastard. He's very dominant and just like, when he's introduced to Desiree, he kind of just thinks she's a fledgling, and that's how, apparently that's how all the Carpathian males, you know, view their women when they are first basically introduced to them, or whatnot. But she's an ancient herself, so she has grown into her power. She has grown into knowing how and when to like scan for the vampires, for bad guy. I have this bad knot here in my neck, and Manny tried to massage it out, but obviously it didn't work. Gotta try again another time. But anyway, you know, to scan for vampires and human assassins, you know, the vampire killing society that, you know, wants to kill all the vampires, including Carpathians, because they think they're bad as well. Anyway, they haven't taken away my love for Razvan and Ivory, the Dark Slayer book, that couple, but they are my number two. I love how this couple they interact with each other, and the way that, yes, Julian, you know, starts out very arrogant and dominant, but he grows and actually, you know, like, adapts and becomes a better man. And I love that. Because first off, she is a singer and she sings to us humans, and you know, when he first meets her, he's like, I really do not want my life mate anywhere near these people. I don't want her out in society. I want her basically at home, safe and protected, and be like, your health and safety and happiness is my number one job, and you are not allowed to do anything. He still has that mentality because, yes, they're basically born with it while still in the womb. And they're basically grown up with it. I really wish we could read about a couple and how, like, in a book, that how a child is raised and how what they teach their child and what they think, like the Carpathians, I mean, what they think their child should know and what should, you know, all that. I really would love to read that, because, you know, the only child we get introduced to in the 4 prior books is Raven's daughter. When she's in book 2, Raven is pregnant with Savannah, and then in book 4, we're introduced to her at age 23, because, you know, yeah, whatever. We're told, like, what Mikhail and Raven, you know, taught Savannah, but not actually, like, say, in book 3 with Dark Gold, we don't interact with them and see how what they shelter her from, what they teach her, hell, if she even goes to school. I don't even know if, like, Carpathian children go to school, which is, I really need to ask you know, on her website, on Kristin Feehan's website. I need to ask that question. But yeah, we don't see it from the, like, from Dark Destiny, Dark Curse, Dark Slayer, Dark Prince, Dark Desire, Dark Gold, Dark Magic, and here, Dark Challenge. Haven't, you know, seen how they interact with children and what they feel should be taught to them. So when I get to here, Dark Challenge, we see a couple where, you know, you already know that Julian is an ancient, he's really old and all that such. But then we also meet Desiree, who already is a Carpathian, but she's an ancient. Her brother, and some like 4 other children that were, you know, together, were, you know, escaped this, I don't know exactly what happened, but all the way back in history, sometime around the Turk invasion, something like that, like back, like, what, in the 1300s, somewhere around that age, you know. So she's really old. So as I said, he still retains this arrogantness that, you know, she should be protected, she should just stay at home, she shouldn't really be, you know, a singer and goes to concert halls, to pubs, and sings to the people. But it's a part of her. She's grown up with this, and she's not a fledgling like Savannah, who literally only is 23, and Raven, Shay, and Alexandra, who literally are humans that are turned into Carpathians, and so, like, literally they are fledglings in a way, like the humans turned to Carpathian, they are fledglings in a way, so, like, but Mikhail, as I said before, Mikhail and Jacques, you know, matured and, like, okay, yes, you are this age, you're an intelligent woman, and you know you not to do stupid things, but at the same time, I just turned you into a Carpathian, so you're still learning how to use, like, Carpathian power. I love the dynamic between these two. Basically, that's all. I'm talking 8 minutes for this touch. I'm sorry, I don't know why I have been talking like 9 minutes now for this stuff. But yes, I love them. They're like they're my number 2 couple right now. They're not great, but it's, again, Julian has redeemed the Savage name. He's also redeemed the Dark series, because, like, book 3 and book 4 is like, I hate these 2 men. Like, their couple origin story, because, like, as I know, like, in the future, I think they've gotten better, but I'm not 100% because it's been a very long time since I read those 3 books. Yeah. I just love it. The storyline is a little weird. Like, if we just separate, like, the 2 couples and how, like, not the 2 couples, are Julian and Desiree and their sort of storyline, I like it. And if you keep it within the basics of it, you know, because Desiree's a singer, she gets attacked by human assassins and literally is killed, but then Julian, you know, rescues her, and, you know, basically she's, you know, still hunted apparently, and, you know, since she is a Carpathian female, vampires are, you know, after her. Something happened to Julian in his past that gets resolved by the end of this book, and I do have to say that thing that happens that gets resolved, I don't want to spoil too much of it, because you have to read what happened in his past. That, yeah, it was really short, and even he says it in the book, like, once it gets resolved, it's like, it happened in 1 second, and it's like, yeah, yeah, it was really short. I agree with you. But, you know, just having them, it kind of would make sense if it was just the two of them. But added to this dynamic is Desiree's family. Her actual blood brother, which is Darius, and the three other characters that you meet, Brock, Sindel, and Diane. There was a fourth one, his name is Feehan, and he gets mentioned a lot, but he did before, like, a while ago, and the dynamic of her family adds a weirdness to the story that is hard to follow sometimes. Like, literally, there's a point where Julian is, you know, basically Julian and Desiree are having sex, and a vampire comes to attack them, and he literally protects her, and gets, like, very sort of gravely wounded, and Darius, I have a hard time pronouncing it. It's Darius. So I'm not hugely knowing how to pronounce that, but anyway, he, you know, does the, you know, healing stuff, and, you know, gives him blood, and literally it's either Julian who is saying this to him or Darius. Oh, I'm sorry, but this little scene where, like, he's healed him and given him the blood to help heal him, and then they're about to put him in the earth to help heal him more. It says Darius is leaning down close to his ear, but the next paragraph, it's written and, like, literally, like, the non-speaking part of, like, this paragraph, or just the paragraph after that, I'm reading it and it's like Julian is speaking to Darius, but it's actually Darius speaking to him. And then literally when he sits up and literally smacks Julian in the face. For what god reason, I don't know, but I don't know. There are weird little incidences like that. It's not too much. Like, I can count on my hand how many times it does happen, and I don't even think it is 5 times. But they're weird things like that. And then there's weird stuff happening between Brock and Sindel, which I already know what happens in the future, but what's going on between them in this book, it just does not make sense. I don't get what is going on between them, but there's weird tension between them that is, like, in the second half of the book, and it's like, where the fork did this happen? What? And then Diane, it's Dayan. That's how I'm pronouncing it. It's probably not how you pronounce his name, but I'm pronouncing it Diane. He apparently is second in command to Darius. And he seems normal. He's kind of stays in the background. He doesn't talk much, but, you know, he's just like, I don't know. Like, he's just there. He doesn't put much to the story, which is fine. It's just whenever Darius, Sindel, Brock, and Diane come into the story, it just makes it a little weird. Yeah. But I do have to say, I definitely liked this story. As I said, Julian redeemed the series, he redeemed the Savage name, and just, I love this couple. I love the fact that Julian, you know, becomes like he progresses a lot better and faster than Aiden, his brother, and Grigori. But I think both Grigori and Aiden, you know, do progress somewhat by the time I get to talk to, like, by the time I had gotten to reading Dark Curse and Dark Slayer, because you do interact with a bunch of characters within, like, Dark Curse and then Razvan and Ivory's Dark Slayer's book, but it is just their stuff, but you get to interact with them a little bit, and yeah. again, I would, okay, so I recommend this book. I definitely do because he, you know, I keep repeating myself. Julian is a better man. He, you know, progresses a lot better. You know, he still has his arrogant personality and such and dominant side, but he accepts that Desiree is his partner and not just a life mate and a lover and just, you know, you have to stay at home and you can't, you know, come out in the world. It's better explained in the book, but that's, to get down to it and how my brain wants to spit out the words, that's how stuff is going on. Yeah. So, yeah, I recommend this book, and I still recommend this series even though I don't like Dark Gold and Dark Magic. Regardless of those two books, I definitely recommend this series. It's good, and, you know, if, you know, some women like that sort of dominant, arrogant man. Actually, to quote Desiree, Julian acts like a caveman half the time. Just half the time. And he's actually like, I am a caveman, and I rather like acting like a caveman. I hope you like a caveman. Blah, 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 blah. But he's like a half caveman, half modern man, where he, you know, accepts that his life mate is his partner and accepts that she has powers of her own and can help situations like destroying the vampire. Before we get to Ivory, most of the women that I've read, and like the four, we're just gonna count the 4 books previous to this one, they don't, you know, fight vampires, and they don't really have it in them to kill. So, yeah. But Desiree does help in a way. And I love it. I just love it. And I've been talking way too much about this book and repeating myself. So I'm gonna repeat myself again. I recommend this book. I recommend this series. This couple, Julian and Desiree, are like my number 2 right now. Though I feel like they're maybe like, if I'm making a top 5 or like a top couple list, Darkslayer is number 1. Ivory and Razvan. Dark Challenge, Julian and Desiree is like a 4, maybe a 3 on the list, because I did like them. But I'm not huge on the arrogant side, that, you know, dominant stuff. Oh, like an oppressive dominant man. I'm not hugely fond of those. But, as I said, Julian redeems a lot of this. Okay, he does. So, now since I'm finished this, and the fact that I still don't have my interlibrary loan, I'm still waiting. So I think maybe next week or sometime in February it might come, because I still haven't heard back from them. So I'm thinking they probably have, like, the series that I have over there. Wait. Oh, I'm totally blocking it, but it's a series that comes before the Kristin Feehan series. But since, as I said, it's not available to read, I'm gonna read one of my own. Another dark series. Dark Fire by Kristin Feehan. And this actually has like different textures. So this is like a matte finish, whereas this is like a glossy finish. I don't know why, but So I'm gonna read the back now. They were masters of the darkness, searching through eternity for a mistress of the light. So that's always gonna be there. There is always a price to pay. So Darius warned her when she accepted a position with his traveling troupe. Wow, I'm having difficulty reading this. So Darius warned her when she accepted a position with his traveling troupe, and gazing mesmerized at the merciless slash of his mouth, the implacable resolve on his face, the soulless emptiness of his black eyes, Tempest was afraid to ask what it was. Wow, so that's a little difficult to read. She had always been different, apart from others. From the moment his arms closed around her, and enveloping her in a sorcerer's spell, Darius seemed to understand her unique gifts. But did his kiss offer the love and belonging she sought, or a danger more potent than his own panthers? Now here's the thing. Reading Dark Challenge, they have these animals that they acquired when, you know, Desiree and her family lived in South Africa, or like the lower, somewhere in Africa, or South America, somewhere in a jungly part. And this is the one really annoying part of the book, was that Kristin went back and forth saying that these creatures that they had were leopards or panthers, which was so confusing because, like, I think of, like, Bagheera, because he's a panther, or I think of a leopard, which is a lot skinnier and, like, longer legs than a panther. Well, they might not be longer, but I think, visually, I think they're longer because they are skinnier, where the panther legs are, they look stockier because they're a thicker leg and they have a longer body. So that was the one thing that really got annoyed to me, because first she'd say leopard, then she'd say panther, and just go back and forth with that. Somewhere deep inside herself, Tempest realized she knew the answer. She had no choice but to accept the velvet stroke of his tongue, submit to the white-hot heat piercing her skin, welcome an erotic pleasure like no other. Yeah. But, see, you've got a panther there. That is definitely a panther. Whereas this, it looks like a leopard because they have more of the yellow tone, and there is a fight between, like, those animals, and Julian becomes like when they become creatures, they sort of adopt the tone of, like, their hair color. So Julian and Aiden, if they adopted a creature, they would always have, like, a golden tone because of their golden mane. It's a rarity. And then basically everyone else is either, like, a black, and we haven't come across anyone with brown hair. And Shay is a redhead because she's half Irish, but in her book she never transformed into a creature, so yeah. But this could be Julian in, like, it's more of like a panther, a golden panther, which I think is, like, a huge rarity because the majority of them are black. I don't know. There's this. He had stalked her like the predator he was, and now he was above her. His face harsh yet sensual, his eyes black, burning coals. It was happening too fast. Trapped beneath his powerful body, Tempest couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Yet when his teeth scraped the swell of her breast, the erotic enticement sent her arcing toward his mouth. Wow, I couldn't read that. But fear beat at her as his body pinned hers, taking possession as if he had every right to her, as if he were invading her soul so deeply that she would never get him out. She felt his teeth pierce her breast, sink possessively into her skin, and instantly she stiffened. But his mind pushed into hers, breaking through every barrier until they were completely one. She felt the heat of her own skin sliding over his. Her blood, hot with life and light, flowing into him, his insatiable hunger and terrible need. She saw the erotic images in his head, and the things he would do to her. She saw his iron will, his ruthlessness, his merciless predator nature. Darius was everywhere she was, in her body, in her mind, in her soul, in her heart and soul. And God help her, she could deny him nothing. Oh boy. Well, no one seems to be redeeming the... Oh crap, what's his last name? Grigori's family. None of them, like, we've known Grigori, and then it actually is tied that... Ugh! This is just, ugh. I can't say something because it's going to kind of ruin the shock factor of how, like, literally, like, I've seen the family tree. I will have Kristin Feehan's website linked below, but, like, literally, there are a bunch of families that are tied together, and it's like, Darius's family is now condemning the Dark series again, that he's already an arrogant bastard and a dominant personality in Dark Challenge, but now he's apparently going to be that way to his mate in this book. Lovely! But I'm still going to read it to see, like, it may change. As, you know, with Julian, if, you know, with, you know, Tempest, she makes him better. Because Tempest is definitely going to be a human with psychic powers. But yeah. Next book. And I think usually I can get these finished in about a week. Maybe less than a week. Maybe somewhere between 4 to 7 days, depending on what goes on during my week from, like, the time I start it, so, like, today, Monday, to, you know, the next time. You know, so by the time I finish it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I should get this finished relatively soon. And yeah, I hope you liked this book review. It was relatively long. I did repeat a lot of stuff, but I liked Desiree and Julian. I liked them together. And I like the fact that Julian redeems both of the facts that I've given out. It's beautiful. I love it. Ugh. And I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button down there. And if you've read the Dark series by Kristin Feehan, please let me know what your favorite book was, and maybe if it wasn't your favorite book, like what your favorite couple is, and maybe your top list of couples. I don't care how long it is, but if you want to order it with every single one, then whatever. Just don't be negative and don't be nasty in the comments, because we do not need another, okay? We don't. If you didn't like or read this series, but you have a recommendation of, like, something similar, also put in the comments below. And if this is the first time you're watching my videos, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, let's plays, unboxing and bagging, because something's coming, a bullet middle envelope, or plastic bag wrap thingy. I can't even say my own outro. Vlogmas, random vlogs, and random... I'm gonna finish this. I don't care. Random videos. I have no idea what to categorize. My light just went out, and I'm finishing this video. Cause, yeah. So again, I hope you liked this video. It was very repetitive and maybe a little rambly. I'm sorry. But again, I liked this couple. I may not have loved the story. I may not have loved and adored the couple, but again, Julian redeemed a lot of stuff. And they were a good couple, okay? And next time I have my video, I will be plugged in. Okay. So I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.